Welcome you all again for the thermodynamic lecture series. So in this today's lecture we are going to solve a few more problems on properties of pure substance in a constant volume process. So before getting into the problem, so we need to know what is the state of the steam. Okay, so there is the condition of the steam or the quality of the steam we need to identify. So for that we all know that they are having three different conditions or quality of the steam is available. The first one is wet steam, and second one is dry steam, and third one is your superheated steam. Okay, so how these qualities are classified? Okay, so these classification, how these qualities are classified is detailedly explained in the previous lectures. If you have any doubt, you can go through the previous lecture. Okay, so just I am recalling that. So if we say the given specific enthalpy is lesser than the specific enthalpy of saturated vapor, then it is called as a wet steam. Okay, when a given specific enthalpy which is equal to saturated specific enthalpy of vapor, then they are called as dry steam. Okay, so here x value which is equal to 1 here. Okay, then if we say it is a superheated steam, then the specific enthalpy of the saturated vapor is lesser than your given enthalpy. Okay, so this will be applicable for your specific volume also. Okay, for instance, so the given specific volume is lesser than the saturated specific volume of the vapor, then it is called as a wet steam. When the given specific volume and the saturated specific volume of the gas which is equal, they are called as dry steam. When the saturated specific volume of the vapor which is lesser than your given specific volume, then it is called as your superheated steam. Okay, since the same condition will be applied for your specific entropy also. When coming on your temperature, we should say it is a saturation temperature. Okay, so we all know what is saturation temperature. So at this point the phase changes will occur. So in this saturation point, the given temperature is lesser than your saturation point, the steam will be of a wet steam. Then your given temperature which is equal to the saturation temperature, then it is a dry steam. Then the saturation temperature is lesser than your given temperature, then it is known as the state of the steam is your superheated steam. Then, so based on the qualities wet steam, dry steam and superheated steam, we should know some of the basic properties and how to use the formulas for your basic properties. Okay, so first one is your specific enthalpy, the unit is kilojoule per kilogram. If we say the steam is wet, the condition is the given specific enthalpy is lesser than that of your saturated specific enthalpy, then H is equal to HF plus X into HFG. Okay, where H is your specific enthalpy at liquid stage. Okay, so this is your combination of both, so liquid and gaseous vapor. Okay, so X is nothing but your dryness fraction. Okay, what is meant by dryness fraction? That is the amount of, that is the mass of vapor present in the total amount of the steam. Okay, so that is mg by mf plus mg. Okay, it's equal to mg by mf plus mg. Then if we say dry steam, I already told that x equal to 1. You substitute your x equal to 1, then it becomes h of g. Okay, so h of g can be written as hg minus hf. So plus hf and minus hf will get cancelled. Again the term will be h is equal to hg here. For superheated, so h is equal to hg plus cp, that is the constant pressure of the superheated temperature values. Then your T superheated minus your T saturation temperature, the difference between your superheated and saturation temperature. For specific volume, again for a wet condition, V is equal to Vf plus X into Vfg, and for dry steam it is V is equal to Vg, and for superheated steam V is equal to Vg into T sup by T saturation. And also for your specific entropy, S is equal to Sf plus X into Sfg, where S equal to Sg. Here for superheated, S is equal to Sg plus Cps of ln into the ratio of T sup by superheated temperature divided by your saturation temperature. And also work done. So we also know that the flow work is equal to P into V. So that is work done is equal to P into V for all the three cases. But this volume, the specific volume will be varied according to these three different conditions. And also know the specific volume is instead of the reciprocal of your density, or otherwise density can be written as 1 by your specific volume in all the three cases of your quality of the steam. Then the specific internal can be determined by H is equal to U plus PV relation. So with this we can write U, specific internal energy U is equal to H minus PV. So this H, the specific enthalpy and the specific volume will be depend on these formulas. What are all the state of the conditions? So corresponding state of the conditions, this internal energy will vary, but the formula for the internal energy for all the three cases are same. Okay. Problem 12. Steam initially at 0.3 megapascal, 250 degrees Celsius is cooled at constant volume. Okay, so it is given that a steam has the initial pressure. The initial pressure is about 3 bar and the initial temperature is about 250 degrees Celsius and it is cooled at a constant volume. So your process is about constant volume. At what temperature will the steam becomes a saturated vapor? Okay, so due to the cooling process, so it will attain some saturated point. Okay, so we need to find out that saturation point. In that corresponding point we need to identify the temperature, that is saturation temperature we need to identify. Then what is the steam quality at 80 degrees Celsius? So after the steam is cooled down, then it is automatically come to a lower temperature of 80 degrees Celsius at state 2. So we need to find out the quality of the steam at 80 degrees Celsius and also find out the heat transfer per kg of the steam from 250 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius. We need to find out the heat transfer Q. Okay, so the given is the initial pressure P1 is 3 bar and temperature T1 is equal to 250 degrees Celsius, and also it is a constant volume process and temperature at 80 degrees Celsius. So consider here when we are cooling. Okay, so when we are cooling, this is your saturation curve. Okay, so it may be occur at any point. This is your saturation point. So this is your cooling line. The initial process, the pressure is about 3 bar. Okay, since it is a constant volume process, so in a PV diagram we should have to draw a straight line. Okay, so since it is a cooling process, so in this process we need to identify this saturation temperature. Okay, so the first question is we need to identify at what temperature it will become saturated vapor. Okay, that we need to identify. Okay, so for that first we need to know what is the initial state of the temperature, then we have to move on for all these three findings. So for that I am going for a steam table. Okay, so at pressure P1 is equal to 3 bar. Okay, I need to compare a temperature, saturation temperature. Here the saturation temperature at 3 bar is 133.5 degrees Celsius, but our given temperature T1 is 250 degrees Celsius. Okay, so saturation temperature is lesser than your given temperature, so the condition of the steam is initially superheated. Then again I am going for to find out the specific volume at superheated steam table. So at pressure 3 bar and 250 degrees Celsius. So pressure P1 is equal to 3 bar and temperature T1 is equal to 250 degrees Celsius. We taking out the specific volume V1 as 0.7964 meter cube per kilo. Then again the superheated specific enthalpy table from your steam table, at the pressure P1 is equal to 3 bar and temperature T1 is equal to 250 degrees Celsius. I am taking out H1 is equal to 2967.9 kilojoule per kilogram. Then we know that since it is a constant volume process, so we know that V1 is equal to V2 which is equal to Vg2 which is equal to, at all the point the volume are same. Okay, so we can say as 0.7964 meter cube per kilogram as we find out in the previous slide. Okay, so since in that I am going to check this volume. Okay, so this volume in a temperature table because I need to find out the saturation temperature. So I am going to find out this volume, that is it is in between of your temperature 124 and 126. Okay, so 0.7964 is in between 0.79283 and 0.74840. The corresponding temperature will be recorded as 124 and 126. So between these two temperatures you are having your saturation temperature, right? So for that I am going for interpolation. So I am drawing the interpolation table. So corresponding 124 we are having 0.79283, but 0.7964 we didn't know about the temperature, and the corresponding temperature 126 degrees Celsius we are having the volume as 0.74840. Okay, so in the previous cases, the previous lectures, we have solved this interpolation method in a calculator, and also while in a formula method also we have find out. So if you have any doubt, you can go through the previous lectures to how to calculate your interpolation by using your calculator method. Now I am going to solve this by using your formula method alone in this lecture. Okay, so that is by interpolation. So consider this as x1 and this is x and this is x2. Okay, so 124 as y1 and this value will be y and this will be y2. So substitute all these values here, that is x minus x1 divided by x2 minus x1, which is equal to y minus y1 divided by y2 minus y1. So substitute all the values and solve this relation to get the saturation temperature as 123.83 degrees Celsius. Then at temperature, the second state, okay, so the first state is over and your second state is 80 degrees Celsius. When after the steam is cooled, it comes under 80 degrees Celsius. Okay, so at this 80 degrees Celsius, you have to check your specific volume. Okay, then you have to find out the condition of the steam, because since it is a constant volume process, we know that V1 is equal to V2, right? So at temperature 80 degrees Celsius, take your Vg. Vg is 3.4091 meter cube per kilo. So meter cube per kilogram. So compare these two values. Okay, so compare the initial value V1 is equal to V2 is 0.7964. We already know. So compare this value. So we know the condition V2 is lesser than Vg2. Right. So you write this value here, and this is your left hand side of your given value. So it is the condition of the steam is wet in this problem. Again, so it is, since it is wet, we need to find out H value. Okay, so enthalpy value we need to find out. So I am taking out saturation pressure value and Vf value, Hf value, Hfg value from the table here. Okay. So for my inference, I am writing the taken value at the right hand side. So we need to find out if the condition is wet, we need to find out the dryness fraction. So we know V2 is equal to Vf2 plus x into Vfg2. So this Vfg2 can be written as Vg2 minus Vf2. Since V1 is equal to V2, since it is a constant volume process, so V1, which is equal to V2, that is 0.7964 meter cube per kilogram, that we have already known. So substitute all the values. Only one unknown term is this dryness fraction x, that is equal to 0.2334. And again, specific enthalpy, H is equal to H2, which is equal to Hf2 plus x into Hfg2. So we know all the values, that is x, Hf2 and Hfg2. Substitute all those values to get H2 is equal to 873.79 kilojoule per kilogram. Since we need to find out the heat transfer for this process, so we know according to the first law of thermodynamics, Q is equal to W plus del U. Since this process is cooled at constant volume, okay, so since it is in constant volume, so in the PV diagram we are having the straight line, so there is no area under the curve, or otherwise work done is 0 in this case, right? So we can write Q is equal to delta U. So this change in internal energy can be written as U2 minus U1. So in this regarding, we need to find it out U1 and U2. Okay, so for that I am taking H is equal to U1 plus P1 V1. So here I am rearranging and write it off. U1 is equal to H1 minus P1 V1. So we know all the values H1, P1 and V1. Here only one case we have to note it down. Okay, so here this enthalpy in kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, so the specific volume is in meter cube per kilogram. So we have to substitute this pressure in terms of kilopascal. Okay, so that is very, very important here. So you have to substitute P1 in 300 kilopascal. Okay, so you have to substitute a pressure in terms of kilopascal. Then only you will get U1 is equal to 2728.98 kilojoule per kilogram. As similar to that of your U1 case, we need to find out your specific internal energy at the second state. So U2 is equal to H2 minus P2 V2. So H2 is already we have find out from the table. So substitute all these values. Here is also we need to remember. Okay. Then U2 is equal to 873.41 kilojoule per kilogram. Then Q is U2 minus U1. So Q is equal to 873.41 minus 2728.98. So your Q will be minus 1855.57 kilojoule per kilogram. So as a result, we have find out the saturation temperature. Okay, so we have find out the saturation temperature at the what point the steam is completely saturated vapor, that is 123.83 degrees Celsius, and the steam quality at the state 2 is wet steam, and the heat transfer rate is minus 1855.57 kilojoule per kilogram. Problem 13. A wet steam of 0.5 megapascal and 95% dry occupies a 500 liters of volume. Okay, so not 50, it is 500. So wet steam of 0.5 megapascal and 95% dry occupies 500 liters of volume. Okay, so that is initially the steam is of wet with the dryness fraction x is equal to 0.95, and your pressure will be of 5 bar. Okay, so that is the case they have given, and the total volume V is equal to 500 liters. This you have to convert into meter cube. Okay, so divided by 1000 you will get your meter cube. Then if the steam is heated, okay, so if the steam is heated in a closed rigid vessel, so again it will become constant volume process. Okay, the steam is getting heated in a closed rigid vessel, since it is a constant volume process until the pressure becomes 1 megapascal, that is, which is equal to 10 bar. Okay, then find the heat added. We need to find out the Q and also plot the process for the Muller chart. Okay, so your Muller chart is in between enthalpy and entropy chart, like this, entropy and entropy chart. This is your saturated curve. Okay, so initial condition we know. Okay, so the initial condition is wet. So initial condition is wet. So below the saturated curve all the points are wet, and above this point it is superheated, and this point it is saturated. So initial condition is wet, so we can mark the point here, but the second condition we didn't know. Okay, so after solving this problem only we know that whether it is the second state is saturated or superheated. Okay, then only we can draw this diagram, right? Okay, so we need to find out the heat added. Okay, and also we have to draw the process on the Muller chart. So for that I am taking pressure P1 is equal to 5 bar, and we know that x1 is equal to 0.95 and the condition of the steam is wet. Okay, so I am taking all the values here, because since it is a constant volume process we know that V1 is equal to V2. So for that we need to find out your V1, and also for Q we need H, right? That is how we can find out it is, if it is U, then we need to find it out H1 minus P1 V1. Okay, for that we know about H1. So for that I am taking all the specific enthalpy values here. So Vf1 is 0.001093 meter cube kilogram. Similarly all the values Vg1, Hf1 and Hfg1. Here we no need to check and compare the values, because in the question itself the first condition they have stated the condition of the steam is wet, and also the dryness fraction is also given. So here no need to check any state of the steam here initially. Then for my inference I am writing these values here. Then V1 is equal to Vf1 plus x1 into V of G1. We know that V of G1 can be written as Vg1 minus Vf1. Substitute all the values Vf1, x1, Vg1 and Vf1. You get V1 is equal to 0.35598 meter cube per kilogram, which is equal to V2. Then in the similar way we can find out the specific enthalpy. The specific enthalpy can be written as H1 is equal to Hf1 plus x1 into H of G1. Okay, so here we know all the values. X value, this 0.95 is given, and Hf1 and Hfg1 we can taken from the steam table. So H1 is equal to 2642.13 kilojoule per kilogram. Again I am going for the second state. Okay, so at the pressure table we need to check the condition, because we didn't know about the condition of the steam at the second stage. Okay, so for that at pressure 10 bar, how we have to compare? So we have to compare the specific volume value, because we know that since it is a constant volume process V1 is equal to V2, so your known value will be V2. So you take Vg, that is Vg is Vg2 is 0.19430 meter cube per kilogram, and V2 is V1, which is equal to V2 is 0.35598 meter cube per kilogram. So your Vg2 is lesser when compared to your given value, so the condition of the steam is superheated. And also I am writing the saturation temperature for my reference. The saturation temperature at this point is 179.9 degrees Celsius, which is equal to 452.9 Kelvin. Then in case of the superheated condition, okay, so in case of your superheated condition, your V2, how we can find out this V2? And this superheated temperature we need to find it out. So V2 is equal to Vg2 into T sup by T saturation. So V1 is equal to V2, that we already know. Substitute these values and saturation temperature from this table. Here what we have to keenly observe means you have to substitute this value in terms of Kelvin only. Okay, so here we have to substitute the temperature in terms of Kelvin. Okay, then your superheated temperature becomes 829.7 Kelvin. Okay, or otherwise it is 556.7 degrees Celsius. That is, so from your specific enthalpy superheated table, again we are going to find out this enthalpy. Okay, so how we can find out this enthalpy? So at pressure 10 bar. Okay, so at pressure 10 bar. So we also know that at 500 degree Celsius and also 600 degrees Celsius. Okay, so 500 degrees Celsius and 600 degrees Celsius, and also 556.7 degrees Celsius we need to know about the enthalpy. So we know it is a 10 bar pressure. Okay, so here we are having three entities, right? So at the temperature, we know it is 10 bar, and this temperature is 500 degrees Celsius and 600 degrees Celsius, and also 556.7 degrees Celsius is our temperature, saturation temperature. So for that we need to find out your enthalpy here. Okay, so for that again I am adding the table of your interpolation table. So by doing the interpolation, again I can got H2 is equal to 3602.5 kilojoule per kilogram. Here this one is x1 and this is x and this is x2. In the similar way, this is y1 and y and y2. So substitute all the values to get H2 is equal to 3602.5 kilojoule per kilogram. Then we need to find out Q. Okay, so Q is equal to W plus del U. Since it is a constant volume process, so work done is 0. So Q is equal to delta U. That is Q is equal to U2 minus U1. There's H1, which is equal to U1 plus P1 V1. Then U1 can be written as H1 minus P1 V1. So we find out all the values. Here only one concept we need to understand, that is we have to substitute the pressure in terms of kilopascal. Okay, then U1 is equal to 2464.14 kilojoule per kilogram. Then in the similar way, we can find out this U2. U2 is equal to H2 minus P2 V2. Then H2 value, P2 value and V2 value are find out from the previous slides. Then you apply the values. Here is also you have to substitute the pressure in terms of kilopascal. You will get U2 as 3246.52 kilojoule per kilogram. Then we know that the difference between your specific internal energy as Q, then Q as 782.38 kilojoule per kilogram. So as a result, we need to find out the heat added. That is heat added is 782.38 kilojoule per kilogram. So since in the problem they asked to draw the Muller chart, plot the process in the Muller chart, so we have to write it out. We have to draw HS and also saturated line. So the initial condition of the steam is again wet. So we know that the initial condition of the steam is wet, and it is a constant. Since in HS plot, in this way the constant volume line will goes. Okay, so this is in the wet region, we plot one point. So at V1 is equal to V2, you go on the point. Here the second condition is superheated, so this area is superheated condition. So along this line you can draw one line. Okay, so this is your diagram for Muller chart for this problem. Thank you.